Let's talk about choosing your battles wisely. Now, I know that you are in a situation where you are basically focused on what's happening to you and the things that you cannot control. However, responding out of your pain, responding out of your trauma, and what you feel is right is not always going to give you the result that you're looking for. Ultimately, I want you to understand that you're only frustrated because you want a particular response and you want a particular thing to happen so that you can feel better. I have learned and failed this test many times where God had to teach me to choose my battles very wisely. There were situations where I felt like I should have said something, or I should have probably turned a cold shoulder towards my spouse, and God would always tell me to let it go. I had to learn, and I am still learning, to trust in the Lord's direction when it comes to adversity between you and another person. I want you to understand that God is a God of peace, but God is also your defender. Now, I know that your circumstance is really hurting you. I know that you feel like it's unfair. You are at a disadvantage while they are living their best life. But I want you to not be deceived and understand that the battles that you choose to give to God, you are literally placing it in His hand, because He knows how to defeat what you're facing better than you can. Ultimately, you have to understand you're dealing with a spiritual battle, and it's not the actual person, but it's a demonic spirit that doesn't want you to pay attention to the source. But when you are a believer and you decide to walk with God, you know that I'm going to say, you have to utilize your authority and go to God as your healer. Now, this word is for everyone who has a promise of restoration. If you do not have a promise of restoration from God, then my advice to you would be to go back to the source and ask God, what is His perfect will for your life? Most women are staying heartbroken because they have yet to place everything in the hands of God. I see and I talk to women who feel like it's always one-sided when they don't understand that they are the problem for moving forward, because you're trying to fight a spiritual battle with physical weapons, and it doesn't work that way. Most women, you're praying and you're fasting and you're doing all of these things to win them to you, when really the source is to win them to God. Because if you win them to you, you don't have the power to do what God do and give them what they need. You don't have it in you to be their deliverer, to be their healer. You don't have it on the inside of you. And the only reason why a lot of times, and I know I did this, you want to win them to you because you want them to feel something on the inside of you to satisfy you, and they could never be your source of contentment or happiness. They can definitely be used once God deals with them and works on them, but they cannot be the source. So I admonish you to reset your affections and hand over every battle to God and ask the Lord, how do you want me to navigate this? I'm not saying being a doormat. I'm saying use wisdom. Okay? If you are dealing with an unequally yoked marital relationship or marriage, I have an ebook called A Silent Witness, Winning Him Over to Christ. This ebook literally teaches you everything you need to do in order to win your spouse over to God. If you know my story, then you know that I am the one that knows how to win your spouse over to Christ. I have literally been taught by God, and there are things that I'm still learning when it comes to being used in the life of your spouse, so that they can be the person God has called them. With this ebook, you will get the Answered Prayer Guide at a discounted price at checkout. So you would get 2 ebooks. If you know, a lot of my ebooks are definitely profound and effective. Okay, you can find that in the link in my bio. Love you, and I'll see you in the next video.